bro, give me my fucking spot back. What we doing?
You ain't ready for 3-step drop? You ready for this?
Wait. Why is that hot?
Just like that. Just like that, baby.
You like my cadence?
I do. I like that. That's my quarterback.
What's going on, y'all? It's another Day on Day One podcast. I'm your co-host Anthony. Name in the bubble. Got my co-host Kyle. Say what's up.
What's happening, babies?
Hey, my internet took a shit. So Kyle over here.
Hang on. Time out. Moment of silence. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Rest in peace to your internet.
Yeah, my internet took a shit. So Kyle's running the show today. I couldn't get on my computer, so I'm on my phone. So I'll let him have it for a day. So
Hell yeah.
So Kyle's gonna run the producer role. Got a show for you guys. We're gonna talk about some huge NBA trades, some trade rumors, kind of our thoughts on where teams should look to improve in the offseason. And as always, our section of Out of Left Field, NBA edition. Kind of the same premise as last episode. We're going to be tag teaming to make this shit happen. But
Pause.
The dynamic duo.
Absolutely. Back at it again. Now we're looking at a primarily NBA packed show, and I'm hyped for it because it's my favorite sport. You know what I mean? I get to teach this man some knowledge.
I played in high school, so
that's
as far as X and O's,
you still can't guard me. You can't guard me,
bro. We're not talking about this, bro. The last time we went 1v1, I cooked you. I almost dunked on you, bro.
You couldn't guard me.
What are we talking about?
Still can't guard me.
You couldn't guard me.
That's fine.
You were like, damn, bro, your arms are too long. Pause.
But listen, I take my rest on defense. Okay? You still can't guard me.
I can score and guard.
My ass.
Anyways. Listen. Before you go on about whichever you were gonna have to say, we're gonna have to do a one-on-one for the pod.
Facts. Now, I don't think you can handle that embarrassment.
We'll go first to 11 or 21, whatever you want. You let me know when and where.
1s and 2s to 100.
Bet. I'm with that.
Can't guard me.
100 to 1. I got you, bro.
He gonna let me get one at the beginning. Quick, easy.
Yep.
All right. First thing we need to talk about, we got to talk about this Bradley Beal trade. For those of you who don't know, there's actually been some movement in this deal. So the full trade is Bradley Beal, Isaiah Todd, and Jordan Goodwin, who moving from the Wizards to the Phoenix Suns in exchange for Chris Paul, Landry Shamet, 6 second-round picks. Some of those are swaps. Some of those are your standard unprotected. What do you think about this? Because I've got my opinions, but I want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's I don't know, bro. Bradley Beal, it's you lost a little bit more 3-and-D depth, but you're getting back a guy who, in my opinion, is an upgrade over Chris Paul.
Well, yes, I agree.
Well, yeah. Well, Bradley Beal, he can get it done on ball. He can also work his way off ball. He can shoot. And with him being able to work off ball, I don't think the issue as far as meshing with Devin Booker is as big as maybe like Chris Paul was, because Chris Paul's ball dominant, like Russell Westbrook. So, I mean, I don't really like giving up more depth and you're going to be running again a really superstar front heavy lineup in Beal, Booker, maybe Ayton, and KD. And then after that, like who you got? You got a bunch of like you got like a Robert Sacre 2015 Lakers-esque bench to work with. I don't know. As for the Wizards, I mean, finally get out under Bradley Beal, kind of give him a chance to go try to compete for a championship. It was never going to happen in Washington, unfortunately. You get some draft picks to build for the future, and you're at an interesting point with Chris Paul and maybe competing for a playoff spot in the East.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody's initial thought is like, oh yeah, they're gonna buy out Chris Paul. But when you look at what happened when he was traded from the Clippers to the Thunder, we're all like, oh yeah, he's totally not staying in the Thunder. He's getting bought out. They ended up keeping him, and then they went on that run, made the playoffs, and made a little bit of noise there in the bubble with going up against the Rockets. We all know the iconic picture of CP3 staring James Harden down, and just
little bro.
Yeah, he was a little bro in him. So, I mean, will we see that version of Chris Paul? Who knows? He's getting up there in age.
Yep.
But I mean, as of now, I think it's good for both sides. For the Suns, they move off of Chris Paul. They get a guy in Bradley Beal who's definitely an upgrade, very, very much younger, in his prime. And the Washington Wizards start building for the future.
Well said. Very well said.
Thanks.
I've got my concerns with it, but before that, shout out to the Queen.
Hey, shout out.
Shout out. But anyways.
Is that your girl?
That's not my girl.
That's not my girl.
It's not my girl.
It's a girl.
It's a girl.
Shout out.
Shout out. Yeah, respect. My biggest concern with it is obviously defense. Number one. I mean, Bradley Beal has the potential to play better defense than Chris Paul. Is he going to? I doubt it, because he wasn't playing much defense when they were competing for Eastern Conference Finals and shit like that back when they were playing with John Wall. So I don't expect much out of him in that department. You lose some 3-and-D, but these guys all have a usage rate above 25%.
That's an issue.
Yeah, and
in my eyes, that's an issue.
Yeah, and I don't think it's as much of a concern with Bradley Beal and Booker. I just think it's another one of those things where Kevin Durant's going to step back even more, like he did in the playoffs, deferring to Booker constantly. 2 shots in the second half, 3 shots in the second half, 0 for 1 in the fourth quarter. That's my concern with it, because I think Kevin Durant's going to play the third fiddle. I really do, when he should be arguably number 1.
Yeah.
And who's your point guard? Cam Payne?
Yeah.
I'm not starting
unless
Cam
you
Payne.
Unless you want to run the ball handling duties through Devin Booker.
Which I think would work temporarily.
Yeah, but you don't. Or Bradley Beal, but again, who's going to be at the 1?
Yeah, and when you think about it in the West, going in the next year's playoffs, you're going up against better playmaking in every round. Devin Booker's a good playmaker, but think about all the point guards he's got to deal with: De'Aaron Fox, Steph Curry, John Morant if he stays out of the hood, Luka, Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray's a better playmaker than Devin Booker.
I was going to say, bro, you said all those names before Jamal Murray?
Yeah. Hell, LeBron James is a playmaker in the playoffs. He's better than Devin Booker. So that's one of my concerns. And then here's another thing that's interesting to me too. They've only got 5 players on payroll for next year. Now, Booker, Beal, Durant, Ayton, who probably won't be there, and Cam Payne. That's all they have. Everyone else is.
And let me ask you this:
Yeah.
What do those 4 players have in common that are currently on the payroll?
They're all max contracts.
That exactly.
That's bread. Right now, they're $30 million over the salary cap.
And they have 5. They literally have a starting 5.
Yes.
That's insane, bro.
I know.
Unless you're willing to eat the luxury tax, which is cool. Well, we've seen the Warriors do that. They've been willing to eat the luxury tax for years. But not everybody's going to be willing to do that. And when you're that much over the cap, you're really reaching for vet min guys who are either washed or just young guys that are unproven.
Agreed. And I don't think it's as much of a concern going into next year. The year after that is when that second apron shit kicks in, where if they get to the second point of being over the cap, they can't sign anybody but veteran minimum. And Booker, Beal, and Durant are all going to be top 8 in yearly salary for the next 4 years.
Right.
This is the Warriors with KD, but worse.
Yeah.
Because Wiggins was on a rookie max extension, and Draymond didn't make an All-NBA team, so it wasn't the full. All these guys are on All-NBA full max extensions, $50 million plus a year.
Yeah.
The salary cap next year is only 134, and they've got 150 between those 3 guys.
That's insane.
Yeah.
It's not possible to field the championship contender when
it's not.
You're that much over the cap, and you still have to fill out spots 6 through 11.
The upside to it is they didn't give up much, and I would think their ceiling got raised because Bradley Beal's had his injuries, but he's not as injury prone as Chris Paul. We don't go into a season wondering how many games are we going to get out of Bradley Beal. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
here's my thing about it, though. Sure, you have Bradley Beal, who's probably going to be healthier than Chris Paul, but it goes back to my problem about the Suns. Where's the depth? Especially when you're this far over the cap, and you only have 5 guys under contract right now. Where's the depth coming from? You're not gonna get a better bench than, let's just say, the Denver Nuggets when you're signing a bunch of veteran minimum guys who are either 46 off of their retirement rockers or G League players. So I don't really think the ceiling was raised really at all for the Suns.
I think it is if they move DeAndre Ayton.
If they move Ayton, but as of now, with that kind of situation, I don't really think so. And even if they move Ayton,
their size is gone. They're already small, and their size is gone. Well, we don't even know what to call this team. Are they a big team? Or are they a small? We don't even have anything on them because they've only got 5 players on payroll.
Exactly.
So I don't know exactly where they go from here. I want to talk a little bit about Chris Paul's side of it. He's got 2 years left on his deal. $60 million, and all of his money got guaranteed after this trade.
Sheesh.
So I'm going to ask you this. I have this written down. There's 3 options. He gets traded, he gets bought out, or he stays where he is. What do you think is most likely to happen?
I think most likely what's going to happen, he's going to stay where he is. I think
for the whole season to trade deadline. What do you think? Because the thing is, though, if they're going to move him, it's got to be in the offseason while some teams have some cap. Because you're not moving a 39-year-old Chris Paul on $30 million to a championship contender in midseason.
That's the thing. And I don't think Washington's in a position to completely just buy out the entire contract because it's guaranteed. So I think for those reasons, he's probably going to stay there and probably play out the entire season there, just like he did in OKC, and just leave when the contract is up. Or they'll trade him next year when he's on his expiring year.
Yep.
But yeah, that's my thing because we've seen it with Chris Paul before. So yeah.
If it's me, I think the Wizards should just buy him out because They could make the playoffs, but like, what are they going to do? They're not going to be any better than they were last year. Like, could they make the playoffs? Yes, but the team's not as good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I would like them to buy him out too, just to give him a chance to go to a championship contender that needs, like, the Miami Heat could totally use Chris Paul.
Yes,
they could totally use Chris Paul. The 76ers totally could use Chris Paul.
Both LA teams
totally could use Chris Paul. But I think the reality of that happening is relatively slim, just based off of the financials. So I think
like, how do you buy out 2 years of a contract?
Yeah, guaranteed too. So he's probably just gonna stay and just forever be ringless, I guess.
Maybe. I mean, good news is his the dollar amount's high, but no contract is untradeable. I mean, Davis Bertans is making $20 million, has been traded twice and hasn't touched the floor. So, I mean, like, there's always, and his value's not that high, so he could be moved.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's gonna take a desperate team to do it. If they're gonna make a trade. You see all this stuff about LeBron. I mean, the Lakers wanting to get him for the vet minimum. How? Like, what's the plan?
It's impossible.
Yeah,
unless he gets completely
right now.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
hey, what is she making? What kind of food is she making?
Yeah, Adriana, what kind of food you making? We're putting you on blast right now. I guarantee you mashed potatoes, guaranteed. But my other thing too is this is a serious question. I need you to really think about it. Matt Ishiba, is he on heroin?
Maybe.
This man has dismantled the roster twice now. And he's been there all of 5 months.
Yeah. I don't know, bro. The Phoenix Suns for me have just been a question mark since they made the finals.
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't have an explanation.
I don't either. I don't understand the fit.
I thought, yeah. I thought the KD trade was questionable because you gave up a lot of depth, a lot of defense, a lot of wing defense.
Draft capital
for Kevin Durant, and we saw it didn't really gel the way we thought it would. And that's the thing. I think the whole Golden State super team era has really skewed some of the players or the general managers of these franchises to think like, oh yeah, we can just piece every single all NBA player together and and just run it with them and some veteran minimum guys, and we're gonna win a championship. It's not how it works. What you got to do is do what the Denver Nuggets did, and draft your guys, develop them, build a roster around them, surround them with a mixture of young and veteran guys, and they're super deep. Like, I don't know. Maybe he tears it down and just starts from ground zero. Who knows?
Maybe. You know how I always have to find a reason to give Nick Wright a shout out. So he said no, and it's legit. Like, he said this thing on First Things First, like yesterday. He was like, this bit, like, the big threes work, and like the whole movement thing works, but it's been skewed because of LeBron. And the only ones that have worked are guys that have been pieced together that do completely different things. Boston in the 2000s. Yeah, Paul Pierce, Garnett, completely different players. Rondo, different players. Right? You have Golden State. It's a seamless fit. Everyone can play off the ball all at once, and everyone has different jobs. You know what I'm saying? But, like,
yeah.
This isn't an example of that, because I think Bradley Beal and Devin Booker are basically carbon copies of each other. Devin Booker's just had a better career when you look at it. You look at the numbers, you look at how they play. Like they both shoot a high percentage from mid-range. They both don't attack the basket very well. They're spotty from three. So
Yeah.
I don't think it'll work unless they somehow piece together a competent bench. And we'll get into that when we talk about all these moves that I have for every team. I do have the Suns doing something, and I have a trade in mind.
Right.
But yeah, that's my thoughts on it. It was like, why? There was so many moves they could have done with Chris Paul. Like, why didn't they call Indiana and be like, yo, give us Miles Turner?
Yeah.
Or, a wing. Like, they need a wing. A defense. Like, call the Raptors. I'll give you Chris Paul. Because you're losing.
Anunoby.
They're losing Fred VanVleet. Let him walk. Bring in Chris Paul. Nurture the young guys like you did in OKC. Bring OG Anunoby over. And then give the reins of, like, the forward position to Scotty Barnes.
Yeah.
I just pulled that out of my ass. I don't have that written down, but that would have been better.
That's
a lesser talent, but a better fit.
Yeah.
So
no question. She made pierogies.
Yeah, I respect that.
Close.
I respect. She better be dipping that shit in sour cream. Sour cream.
Hey yo.
But no, sour cream with the pierogies hits different. All right. Are you ready to lock in?
Yeah.
I've been excited about this for like 3 days.
I know you have.
I've been wanting to talk about this.
This man has been hitting me up like crazy.
I sat
just
here.
Like he just at work, like I've been sitting here in my bag thinking about the most outlandish shit.
Yeah, I think I got ADHD, or I have an addiction. I have an addiction.
Gotta be both.
Probably
ketchup and mayo.
But here's what we're gonna do, okay? For the next God knows how long, we're gonna talk about one move that every NBA team needs to make, whether that's a trade, a free agency signing, multiple free agency signings, draft picks, trading guys away, bringing guys in, whatever it is. This is what I think every team needs to do this offseason to point them in the right direction. Whether that be point them to a rebuild, point them to a championship, point them, to the next step.
Yeah. And I'll let you know if I like it or not.
Yes, and you'll be reacting to it. So, how do we want to do this? We want to go alphabetical order?
I don't care. Sure.
All right. We'll start with Atlanta Hawks. I brought this one up to you, but I'm going to give you the trade idea that I have. Okay? So, I think that we've seen the last couple of years that Clint Capella being there doesn't really work. For me, it doesn't. They re-signed John Collins. I don't think John Collins and him work together. So I think they need to move off not John Collins, Clint Capella if they want to get better.
Okay.
So I have Clint Capella and Garrison Matthews to the Jazz for Jordan Clarkson and Kelly Olynyk. And with that, you let Onyeka Okongwu start, who's your power forward center you drafted 2 years ago, who hasn't gotten much run, but he's been improving. You get a legit shot creator off the bench, because after they lost Kevin Huerter, who do they have outside of Trae Young that can create their own shot? To me, that's not DeJounte Murray.
Bogdanovich.
Cool. But we've seen Bogdan like just melt in games. He's not playing. He's playing 13 minutes. He's playing 35 minutes. He's scoring 20. He's scoring 3. Jordan Clarkson's more consistent. And besides, they need another guard. Like they can't. To me, you have to have a deep guard rotation to be successful.
Yeah, you're gonna need. Trae Young and DeJounte Murray can create their own shot, but you're gonna need a third guy that can, facilitate the offense, get his. Yep. Jordan Clarkson would not be a bad fit for the Hawks.
Yeah, we saw Jordan. Go ahead.
My only worry still with the Hawks is the wing defense.
Absolutely. The only reason I didn't have them trade for a wing is because I think they've got so many guys in development. Sadiq Bey, I think, is going to make a jump, and I think he's going to start.
Yeah.
They still have Jalen Johnson, Daniel Hunter on the roster. Those are good wings that just need to take a step. So I felt it wasn't smart to bring in guys that are going to take away from them building their young core.
Right.
Jordan Clarkson doesn't really do that because he plays different positions, and Kelly Olynyk's a backup big to Onyeka Okongwu.
Fair enough.
So that's where I was thinking. And then I threw in Garrison Matthews to the Jazz just for salary filler. So
that's cool.
Yep. Now maybe the Hawks throw in a pick because to get off of that Clint Capella deal, but I don't know. So yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
We like that one.
We like that.
All right, Boston.
Ooh.
My number one thing that I think needs to be done is that they need to find a new coach.
Problem is they're not going to do that.
They're not going to do that, but they need to. This isn't what I think they're going to do. This is what I think they should do. So it was basically the same exact roster, but better with Malcolm Brogdon from the finals year last year, and they were worse. To me, that's on coaching. Jaylen Brown got better. Jason Tatum was just as good. They were healthy in the playoffs. I don't see a reason as to why they should have lost to the Heat if it wasn't for coaching. Again, it's another thing. At the end of games, they can't close games. They can't play. There's no half-court shot creating or getting into sets because they don't have a legitimate point guard.
Right.
So, to me, and I don't really see a way they do that unless they make a big move. I think they need to go out and get a guy like Kenny Atkinson. He's a veteran coach. He ain't going to take their shit. He was on a championship coaching tree with Steve Kerr the last 2 years, and he's been an NBA coach. So I think that's a good fit rather than keep cycling in rookie guys, and at the end of the year, they're the ones that let you down.
Yeah.
Okay. The other thing I have is I think they need to consider the Damian Lillard trade. Consider it. Put an offer out there.
My only issue with that would be they're going to be asking for a lot of compensation.
Here's the thing, though. Let me give you this trade, and tell me if it's enough. Okay. Damian Lillard alone goes to the Celtics. The Blazers bring back Jaylen Brown, Grant Williams on a sign and trade, and 2 first-round picks. The reason why I think that's good value is because Jaylen Brown's going like this. Dame's going down. I think they're damn close to being the same level player. Plus, you get draft compensation, and Grant Williams is a good young piece to add to your core of Shaden Sharp, Anthony Simons, all those guys.
Yeah.
I think it's enough considering Jaylen Brown.
I think it's enough too for the Blazers to pull the trigger. I just think if you're Boston, that is just a lot. Like Jaylen Brown is definitely a premier player in the league. Grant Williams gives you some good depth inside. Some good rebounding, can also shoot it. I mean, I guess you would have to consider it if you're willing to move off of Jaylen Brown. I know there's been some tension in the past, but still, you're losing a lot of wing defense because Jaylen Brown is a heck of a defender.
Well, they've got a lot of defense.
They do, but it's Jaylen Brown is one of their better defenders, so it'd be a huge blow for sure.
Agreed. I just think they need a point guard that can get the team into their offense and can score at will. That's what they need. He can. He's the only option I see them having because they don't have money to sign any point guard. There's not a guy you can really trade for that's going to do that and be super impactful. Like I thought that was going to be Malcolm Brogdon, and he impacted it in a completely different way. He was the sixth man that came in, got you buckets, got you a couple assists, shot the hell out of the ball. but they still had the issue to where he was deferring to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, which is a good thing. But those two aren't getting the offense together. So I think it needs to be Damian Lillard. We've seen enough of this. I don't see them getting better unless they do this. Or they fire their coach. So
yeah, I mean, it's definitely an aggressive move, but could work out.
Yeah,
I just think you're leaving a lot of defense out there though, because Dame is not the defender that Brown is, for sure.
No, he's not.
But he gives you that offensive production that you're looking for. So
yeah, like I feel like the only real thing you're losing in that trade is the defense of Jaylen Brown, because Grant Williams didn't play consistent minutes for them in the playoffs. Like Malcolm Brogdon's a hell of a defender. Jason Tatum's becoming a good defender. Al Horford's old as shit, but he's still a good defender for what he's getting paid. Robert Williams has a chance to be an all-defensive player next year. Marcus Smart was DPOI last year, so I think there's still plenty of defense. There's plenty.
Now let me ask you this: if you're trading away Jaylen Brown, who are you running at the one? Marcus Smart or Lillard?
Lillard. Easy.
Okay.
And if I had to put the team together, I might keep Tatum at the 4, and I might run 3 small guards. Like, I might run Dame, Marcus Smart, Brogdon, Tatum, Robert Williams. Or if you want to go big, Dame, Smart, Tatum, Horford, Williams.
Yeah.
Or whatever other wing they've got on their roster that can start.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You just have to address that depth.
Yeah.
Inside. So, yeah.
Which they can do because they still qualify for the mid-level exception because they're actually saving money making this trade, technically.
Which is
yeah. They're actually saving money.
Insane.
So yeah, they're getting back like $5 million because they're giving up like 50. Because I think Grant Williams, if it's a sign and trade with Grant Williams, it's 30 for Jaylen Brown and probably 20 for Grant Williams. I think those guys, it's about what they're going for nowadays, right? So, all right, I like that. I think those are good moves.
That definitely put them in the. I mean, they're already in the contender conversation, but
yeah,
they'd be the favorite, I think.
I think so too, especially with the age of the Bucks and the Sixers having no idea what the fuck to do.
Facts.
It's just that's what I think. Next team, Brooklyn Nets. I have a couple little moves they should do, but the main thing is I think they need to commit to the youth movement.
Okay.
I see a lot of things all over Twitter about teams photoshopping Mikal Bridges onto their team. I think, yes, Mikal Bridges' value is at its highest point because he averaged like 25 for them since he got traded. But his defense also took a step back.
Right.
So I think they need to commit to Mikal Bridges. I think they should let Seth Curry walk because he's an unrestricted free agent. Let him go. Because, I mean, Cam Thomas is going to need minutes next year. I think they should move off Joe Harris. He's making $18 million next year. That would be a trade. Yeah.
He's been injured a lot.
Yeah. That to me, that would be a trade to a contender or to a team that thinks they can contend, like Sacramento. You know what I mean? One of those level teams. Or the Lakers. You know what I mean? So I think you move off those guys, and I think they have to bring back Cam Johnson. I'm so high on Cam Johnson. He's unrestricted right now. I think you give him 4 years, $80 million. I think that brings him back.
I think so.
Yeah, and he's one of the best shooters we have in the NBA. And he's young.
And he's a very good defender, too.
And he's a very good defender. So I think commit to the youth movement, keep Mikal Bridges. You still have Ben Simmons, I guess. You have Cam Johnson. But I think if they eventually want to move this team somewhere, they should keep Mikal and Cam Johnson, see what they can do, even bring their value up more. Hell, maybe Mikal Bridges makes an All-NBA team next year.
Who knows?
You know what I mean? Could be a top 10 defender in the league next year, averaging 25 points. That's enough to be an All-NBA player. Jaylen Brown did it this year. So I think you give that a whirl. But, yeah, those are my 3 small moves I think Brooklyn should make.
Yeah. It doesn't make him a contender or nothing, but sets him up for a good future. So
yeah, good future. Or if they need to commit to the rebuild, why move your pieces now? You know what I mean?
Right.
When they're still building value. So, for me, this one's doesn't seem to be that big, but I think it is. It's Charlotte. They have the number 2 pick in this draft. I think they need to be smart and not take Scoot Henderson. I think they should take Brandon Miller at 2 and let Scoot fall to 3.
Yeah.
My whole reasoning is they've got a shit ton of guards. They've got Terry Rozier, LaMelo Ball, James Bouknight, just to name 3.
I was going to say, yeah, they have a shit ton of guards. Yeah. They don't need another one.
Yeah. And then I also have it written down. Gordon Hayward's going into the last year of his deal. Brandon Miller slides right into that spot when Gordon Hayward leaves. And then you're running eventually a team of Mark Williams, PJ Washington, if you want to, Brandon Miller, James Bouknight maybe, Terry Rozier maybe, and then LaMelo. Mm-hmm. And that's your young core building towards the future. So I think they shouldn't draft Scoot, even though he's the better talent at 2.
Right. It's not the better fit.
Yeah, it's not the better fit. It's the smart pick if I'm the Hornets.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
My man.
Next up, I've got the Chicago Bulls. I've got them just making 2 small moves here because I don't think they're going to blow it up. I think they should, but I don't think they will. But they need to re-sign Kobe White because is just getting better. When he was starting last year, he was averaging 21 points a game. No one's really talking about it. But in his starting games, he started 25. He averaged 21 a game. So I would re-sign Kobe White. And the other deal I have, a vet forward and free agency, I think they should bring in Harrison Barnes on a 2-year deal.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a good fit. Defense, 3-point shooting. It's not really going to move the needle. But if they want to keep this team together, they're not going to have many options. They've got a mid-level exception. Just bring in Harrison Barnes. He's one of the best forwards out there that's not going to cost you $50 million a year. So,
yeah.
Yep, just small little trade or small little signing. The Cavs, I have the Cavs next. I feel strong about this. I think they need to bring in a backup point guard to take pressure off of Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. They had Ricky Rubio on the roster last year, but he didn't play. He was hurt, and I believe he's a free agent now. So I just have them doing a small move, but an impactful move, bringing in Reggie Jackson on the 2-year deal. Backup point guard.
I like that.
Mm-hmm. You get a little bit of bench scoring because that was one of their big issues. I mean, when you're running Isaac Okoro, Dean Wade as your bench, you're not really, you're not getting much production. So I think you bring in Reggie Jackson, who we've seen go for 30 in a playoff game. Not that that will happen on a night-to-night basis, but I think it's a small but impactful move.
Yeah, and the other thing with him is he'll give you that experience off the bench where a lot of those guys are young, inexperienced. Reggie Jackson's that vet.
Yeah.
That we talked about. So,
and Utah never really made it far with Donovan Mitchell, but he worked well with a veteran point guard with Mike Conley. So I think this kind of, you know what I mean? When DG's off the floor and you need a point guard to get the team in the offense, I think Reggie Jackson could do that because he did it for the Clippers. So that's my pickup for the Cavs because, again, they're another team that doesn't have much flexibility next year unless they want to blow it up, which doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I like it.
Okay. This one here, I've got Dallas. next. I think they need to let Kyrie Irving walk. And they need to, I brought this up to you, I feel like they need to take the Grizzlies approach, have one all-star, a guard, and have him play heliocentric basketball like Jokic does, like John Morant does, and just build good core around him. So I have 4 players I think they should try and sign.
Okay.
Number 1, Harrison Barnes. Same thing with the Bulls. I think Harrison Barnes is their Dorian Finney-Smith. Perfect. Yeah. Brook Lopez. Your shooting center kind of replaces Maxi Kleber as he gets older. Dwight Powell, you don't have to worry about starting Dwight Powell.
But the problem with Brook Lopez is he's even older than Maxi Kleber.
It is, but at the same time, if they're good,
it's a short-term.
It's a short-term move because there's not much else that they can do other than bring back Kyrie. So
fair enough.
So I like Brook, and I think he fits. 3-point shooting isn't clogging the paint. Luka likes to get to the rack, and it provides defense heavily. They need defense. Dante DiVincenzo, I think, would be a good pickup. Another guard to play off of Luka. He played really well off of Curry last year. I think about this last 2 months of the season, he was consistently 15 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 20 points, 2 and 2. Just doing the little things to help the team win in a backup guard role, and I think that would fit him. And then my other guy, this is also towards a defense type pick. I think they should also sign Dennis Schroeder.
Okay.
Not the greatest perimeter one-on-one defender, but in transition, full court defense, he's a really good point of attack defender.
Mm-hmm.
And he's good off the ball. So I think that those 4 guys, I think, would fit perfectly with Luka. And they're all affordable. They'd be able to afford all of them if they let Kyrie walk. On top of what they already have.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the only thing really is you need another, not Luka level player, but a high level all-star caliber player to pair with Luka and then surround him with mid-level exception guys, I think.
I just don't think they get it. I just don't think they
get it. I know.
It.
That's the thing. For them to compete for the Western Conference, you're going to have to do that. But with Kyrie, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
And it's going to be tough to find that guy. So if Luka is dropping Wilt numbers, maybe they make a run like 2021, but who knows?
My argument to that is if they're not going to bring back Kyrie, if they make a trade to bring in another all-star, they're basically carbon copying what the Suns are doing. Now we're thinking about where's the bench. There's no defense, and we've seen Luka as the only all-star on the team take the team to the conference finals.
Yeah.
We've seen it. And I think with these 4 signings, there's something similar. And Christian Wood's still under contract. Tim Hardaway's still there. You have Kleber off the bench. You have Dwight Powell off the bench. You've got some guys.
Right.
I think that those role players are good enough to make a deep run into the playoffs. You're not winning a ring. But, I mean, what's the other option if you're not going to get Kyrie and you're going to sign someone? James Harden? I'm good.
Yeah.
And then it falls off. And it falls off. Fred VanVleet, but how much does he raise your ceiling? So that's just my opinion because they're not – I don't think there's anything they can really do this offseason that would make a difference. So.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But.
So if it's me, I'm bringing in 1+1 deals and seeing how Luka plays with a bunch of guys that defend, shoot, play off the ball.
Yeah, I agree.
And I would argue Christian Wood last year, no one was really talking about him, but played just as well as Porzingis did for Dallas.
Yeah, he was very underrated.
He was. I think he averaged 19 and 9 on the season, which is pretty good in a bench role. So,
yeah,
I like it.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Next team Denver Nuggets, this is a very tiny thing. I believe I told you this when we FaceTime the other day. Just give Christian Brown a bigger role. He needs to play more minutes. He was phenomenal in the finals. He was basically great all season. And he's an older rookie this past year, so he's already into his body. He doesn't have to develop it's not like he's one of these young guys that are coming in that need to develop their handle and their jump shot, their defense. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's already a well-molded role player, but because he's young, he could blossom. Not to the maxi hero level, but I think just below that.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, he showed flashes. He literally took over an NBA Finals game.
Facts.
So, I mean, yeah, the upside's there. I think he definitely did earn some more minutes.
Yes.
In that finals run, he was phenomenal off the bench.
Yes.
And providing a spark. But yeah. I mean, if you're the defending champs, you're gonna have to do something to retool to run it back, because you're not just gonna be able to plug and play the same exact team and have the same result.
And they won't. They won't. They'll let Jeff Green walk, and they'll bring in another forward and shit like that. Yeah. But do this. I don't necessarily feel like they need to change too much, because the West is getting old.
Right.
And it's, you know what I mean? Say all of the West ages out in the next 2 years, right? That means KD on the Suns get worse. The Lakers, obviously, the Warriors, all these teams. Who's their competition? De'Aaron Fox and the Kings?
Yeah.
Dallas, if they make a move, but they haven't shown that they can.
John Morant, if he deletes Instagram Live.
Yeah,
who knows?
Who's their competition? So I don't feel like there's that much of a need to get that much better.
Or Zion Williamson, if he removes the OnlyFans subscriptions.
Yes, and also I'd like to make an announcement on the program. As soon as Zion's sex tape drops, we'll drop it live on the pod.
Live reaction right here.
Live reaction.
Hey, and we'll be eating pierogies.
Facts.
And with the ketchup and mayo to enjoy the time. But yeah,
that shit is sad. Ketchup and mayo on pierogies, that shit is sad. That's sad.
Ketchup's cool.
It's cool. It's not a pierogi thing for me. It doesn't fit. If I got a pierogi in hand, I'm going into the fridge, grabbing that little cup that says Daisy on it, and I'm taking a swig of that. Gone. So, all right, moving on. We got some more. We're still only in the first quarter of the teams.
We gotta keep this going. You gotta speed this shit up.
Mm-hmm. Detroit Pistons. I have 2 moves. They pick around, I believe, 5 this year. I think they should draft Cam Whitmore, and I think they need to move Bojan Bogdanovic for draft capital.
Yeah, he could. Listen, he would be a perfect fit for the Dallas Mavericks.
For fucking any team.
Any contending team, any playoff team, he'd be perfect.
Yes. Yep. So, not much to talk about there, but I think that's what they should do. Golden State Warriors. This is another oh my God moment. Okay?
There you go.
They got to commit to the Steph Curry timeline. And by that, they need to trade Jordan Poole and they need to trade Jonathan Kuminga. Both need to go.
Right.
With that being said, I have a trade in mind.
Okay.
Jordan Poole and Jonathan Kuminga to the Raptors for OG Anunoby, Gary Trent Jr., and a first-round pick.
Okay. Interesting.
And if we're not happy with the first-round pick, if we feel like that's getting back too much, take it off. Mm-hmm. You get your Fred VanVleet replacement. You get another wing that can come off the bench, an athletic wing, and you run Jordan Poole, you run Malachi Flynn, you run Scotty Barnes. Pascal will still be there for now, and you just get up and down the floor. Young team. Right. Mm-hmm. And Jordan Poole in a starting point guard role will average 22 points a game. He will. Mm-hmm.
They will have Canadian baddies.
They will have. There's plenty of baddies in Canada. There's plenty.
It's a whole nother country of baddies, bro.
Facts. Bro. All they have to do is get season tickets for a TikTok model, and the dudes went second in MVP.
Exactly, bro.
That's all they got to do. But
you saw what they did when they had a TikTok model with the courtside seats in the finals. Bro was hitting bank shots from half court.
Facts.
The blueprint is there. Y'all just have to execute.
Execute. Yeah. Exactly. So that's what I think the Warriors do. That's what they should do. And then you run a lineup of Steph, Clay, Wiggs, OG, Draymond. Or if you want to play big, depending on the matchup, go back to Draymond and Looney, bring OG off the bench, Gary Trent off the bench. You still have
do you think Draymond's going to be there?
I do. I just don't think they're going to let him go. I don't. They're going to put themselves in cap hell, and it's going to be worth it to them, even if they don't win another ring. At least that's what I would do.
Yeah.
Personally, I would rather Clay go than Draymond.
Oh, okay.
Just because Draymond's the heart and soul of our offense and defense. So, you can, not to the level of Clay, but you can find more catch and shoot three-point guys. And he's not as good as a defender anymore. If this was Clay in 2017, I'd be like, yeah, Draymond can go. But he's not the same guy. So,
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's what I think the Warriors need to do. Houston, I said, don't be stupid, make a draft pick, and don't sign James Harden.
I agree.
Why? What's the point? For Jalen Green to come off the bench?
Yeah.
For, you know what I mean? To stunt Alperen Sengun's development and Jabari Smith and all these guys?
Yeah. Just to bring back James Harden, who might not give you the production that he once did.
And they probably won't make the playoffs.
Yeah.
So I don't see a reason to bring back James Harden. So I said, don't be stupid. Make a pick at 4. And, you know what I mean? Let James Harden go fuck off somewhere.
Yeah. Probably in Philly.
Facts. All right. For the Pacers, I have a small but impactful move again. Move Buddy Hield to a contender and let Benedict Mathurin start. I don't have a trade in mind, but I have a destination. I think Buddy Hield should go to the Mavericks. I think Mavericks should be making that call. Because if Russell Westbrook was enough to get you Miles Turner and Buddy Hield, Josh Green should get you Buddy Hield.
Yeah.
So
Fact.
not much to talk about there, but the Pacers are doing a young youth movement. They don't need Buddy Hield because they had Benedict Mathurin showing his ass in the first half of the season last year.
Pause,
but facts.
The young Kyle Lowry.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's what they should do. Okay. Clippers. This one might surprise you. Okay. I said that they need to bring the point guard home with a trade. Robert Covington, Eric Gordon, and a shit ton of second-round picks for Chris Paul. Neither of those guys played impactful minutes for him last year. You get your point guard that you've been needing, and you just see if Team Hospital can win the game, can win the finals.
Yeah, probably won't, but
probably won't. That's my favorite destination for Chris Paul is the Clippers.
Right.
So
yeah, it's an interesting spot. I mean, yeah, you've been needing a point guard. Russell Westbrook was not that. He just didn't fit. You know,
yep.
He's a volume centric guy who needs a ball in his hands. Chris Paul is less of that to an extent.
Yep.
I still think he's going to need his touches to kind of get going. I mean, we saw again, we saw in Phoenix when you bring on KD, you have Devin Booker, who's a guy who needs the ball in his hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's tough. Kawhi Leonard, he's a guy that needs the ball in his hands. Paul George, to an extent, needs a ball in his hands, although he can kind of operate off ball.
Second most talented player in the NBA.
Yeah.
Name a weakness in Paul George's game. You can't.
His health.
I guess. That's fair. That's fair. That bum ass foot that snapped in half.
All right, bro. I didn't go that far. That is crazy.
Oops.
Pandemic P.
Pandemic P. All right, moving on. The Lakers, I have them making a splash. They should sign Fred VanVleet.
Agreed.
They can afford it.
They can afford it.
Yep. If they sign Fred VanVleet to like
let D'Lo walk.
Yes, D'Lo should go.
Yeah.
Let D'Lo walk. You have bird rights on Rui and Austin Reeves. You can bring them back too after you sign Fred VanVleet. You're in cap hell, but you have LeBron James on your team. So what does it matter?
Right. Mm-hmm. And the West is starting to look wide open, so go for it.
Yeah. I like Fred VanVleet there more than Chris Paul, mainly because Chris Paul is injury prone, and you don't need that with LeBron and AD.
Yeah.
So I think
you already have that enough. You already have enough injury prone with AD.
Yeah.
We don't need it with anybody else.
Yep. So bringing a guy like Fred VanVleet to I said roughly
other than
mm-hmm. Yeah. I said roughly a 4-year, $100 million deal. I think that'll get it done. So.
Yeah.
All right. Grizzlies. Okay. I have two things that the Grizzlies need to do. I think they should sign Jeremy Grant to a 3-year deal worth $60 million probably. I think that's a good pickup. Defensive wing, they need one because they're probably going to lose Dylan Brooks. And I think Jeremy Grant has a way higher ceiling than him, and he can shoot. And then I said they also need to take John Morant to church on Sundays.
They also need to delete his Instagram live.
Delete his Instagram, take away his firearm license, and take him to church.
Yep. Take away the firearm license and replace it with a relationship with God, because he needs it. He has the NBA world by the balls. The balls. What does he do? He goes on Instagram Live, flashing the firearms around, getting caught in the club, getting the good you know what I mean?
Yep.
Which, no disrespect, I think I speak for everybody on the panel that says they like a good but you are the face of an NBA franchise, my brother. Do not make that your publicized image.
Yeah, not the greatest. Not the greatest plan. So
yeah.
All right, Miami Heat. I have one objective for them, and it's they need to get Damian Lillard. That's the only way they get over the hump, and I have 2 trades that could probably get it done. First one's Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Haywood Highsmith, and 3 first-round picks. You're not really getting the youth there, but you're getting the draft capital, you're getting expiring deals. So I think that works. The second one is the one that I probably think they'd offer. Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and 2 first-round picks.
That's probably more realistic. Although you don't want to trade Tyler Hero.
No.
But or Duncan Robinson. I mean, I don't know. If you're trading both Hero and Robinson, I would be cool trading one of them.
Yeah.
And I think they can both run the same high screen and roll with Bam.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Tyler Hero is obviously a lot more talented in that than Duncan Robinson, but they both can do it very well. But yeah, it's tough to to have a team that deep with role players like that. Kind of add a guy like Dame, but you need another superstar there like Dame, because we've seen in the playoffs here with Jimmy Butler, it's like, are you going to be the guy? Are you not going to be the guy? Like,
there's just not enough substance. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and I think they still have enough depth making either of those trades. So
yeah, I think so.
Yep. I mean, you've got Vincent and Strus still. You've got, if you give up Lowry, you still have Tyler Hero. If you give up Tyler Hero, you still have Kyle Lowry. Like, you know what I mean? You've got some movement to play with. Plus, they've got guys that were playing some minutes. Like, if they do the Tyler Hero trade, they still have Haywood Highsmith, who was good. Kevin Love's still under contract. Like, they still got some dudes. So, all right.
Respect.
Next move, Milwaukee Bucks. They need to get another shot creator because Chris Middleton is declining.
Would you say Fred VanVleet?
No, I have a trade. Pat Connaughton, Grayson Allen, a 2029 first-round pick to the Magic for Cole Anthony and Gary Harris.
Okay.
I think that's enough to get it done. I don't think Cole Anthony's value is that high, partially because he's on a losing team. I think it's kind of like the Bradley Beal deal to a lesser level.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Cole Anthony comes in. He's your sixth man off the bench. Gary Harris is, we've been saying for 3 years, needs to get onto a contender, 3-and-D. So I like it.
Yeah, that's a solid place.
Facts. So I think that probably makes him the favorite, personally. It's a small move, but it fixes pretty much all their problems if they bring back Brook Lopez.
Yeah, and if Boston doesn't trade for Dame.
Yes. Or Miami.
Yeah.
Or Miami. Yeah. Hell, even fucking the Rockets might. I mean, the Sixers might try it.
Maybe.
Mm-hmm. Minnesota Timberwolves, there's nothing they can fucking do this offseason other than bring back Naz Reid.
That's tough.
And Naz Reid is a dog. So let's bring back Naz Reid and run that shit back. Because what else can they do?
There's nothing you can do. You're in NBA purgatory.
Yeah. All right. Here's probably my biggest shocking move. For the New Orleans Pelicans, they should trade up to number 3 and draft Scoot Henderson.
Okay.
Zion Williamson to the Blazers for the 3rd overall pick and Anthony Simons.
Wow.
And this is considering that Dame stays. So now you have Dame, Shaedon Sharpe, Zion. You can bring back Jeremy Grant if you want to bring back Jeremy Grant, and you've got your depth still.
Yep. Yeah. Damn.
Commits to the timeline of Dame.
Yep. Yeah, that's true. That's damn.
The other move is same exact thing. Brandon Ingram.
Yeah.
Whichever, take your pick. Do you want a higher ceiling player with injury concerns with Zion, or do you want a slightly lesser all-star in Brandon Ingram?
I'd probably go the route of Brandon Ingram, in my opinion.
If you're the Blazers or if you're New Orleans?
If I'm the Blazers. If I'm the Blazers, I think I would rather Brandon Ingram. I mean, he's been more healthy. Made an all-star team. I think until Zion actually gets serious about playing NBA basketball and not taking $150 million to go fly out porn stars and shit while he has a baby mama. Yeah. I think you trade for the guy who has had proven success. And he is a phenomenal scorer.
Yes. And a good defender. For his body
he can
type,
definitely,
he's a good defender.
Yeah, he can definitely take pressure off of Dame, and that's what they need.
Yep. He's a selfless, perfect number 2 for Dame.
Absolutely perfect.
Mhm.
Zion
would still work, I think, personally.
I don't think he would work as good as Brandon Ingram, though.
He wouldn't. But I think if they're gonna get get the 3rd pick and Anthony Simons and draft Scoot, they need to give up Zion. And I think they should, because what does it matter? Because the guy didn't play for you last year.
Yeah.
So now you go into the season with CJ McCollum, Anthony Simons, Scoot Henderson, Jonas Valanciunas is still there, Brandon Ingram, Trey Murphy, Herb Jones, Jose Alvarado. That's a squad.
Yeah.
That's a squad.
That is a squad.
And I think Scoot's the
squad? Nah. Playoff squad?
No, but maybe next year. I think Scoot is, probably the most NBA ready guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. This only works if my first thing that Brandon Miller goes to the Hornets like I think he should. This is the only way it works. You don't trade up to 3 to get Brandon. You don't trade up to 3 to get a wing that's not going to be your franchise piece when you already have 2.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty baller if you ask me.
I think so.
The Knicks, we'll touch on it real quick, but I think they should just increase Emmanuel Quickley's workload. They're kind of stuck. They don't have everyone pretty much on the team's locked up outside of Josh Hart. They're not going to get significantly better this offseason, so I think they should focus on developing their young guy to run alongside Jalen Brunson and Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, and just take it from there, because there's really not much that they can do this offseason to get better, unless they make a trade which kind of blows it up.
Right. So I agree.
Mm-hmm. And we saw Julius Randle get buckets in the first round of the playoffs. And Jalen Brunson was way better than we thought he was going to be under that deal. This time last year. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
He definitely proved it in the playoffs for sure.
Yes, 100%. Okay. Oklahoma City, they need to sign Kyrie Irving or James Harden to pair with Shea. Now, I think they're a lot closer than people give them credit for.
Yeah.
Like, if they don't start to compete soon, they're going to be getting calls from championship teams about Lou Dort and guys like that. Chet's coming back next year. Is going to be back next year.
Yep.
They've got the 11th pick in the draft to get another wing if they want. Like, they've got a lot of talent. And if they bring in James Harden to play with Shea and they're succeeding, heading towards the trade deadline, they've got hundreds of picks to trade for another star.
Yeah.
Because even with signing James Harden, they have $40 million in cap. I didn't consider Josh Giddey becoming a possible all-star next year.
Yep. Yeah.
So
that's the thing though. Do you bank on your young guys blossoming into all-stars and just running with that, or bringing a guy like James Harden in and just supercharging that, but also kind of stunting that potential all-star growth in a guy like Josh Giddey?
Here's my opinion on it. They've already stunted the growth of every guy on their team not named Shea or Josh. Because they have so many young guys, and they're all taking up so many minutes.
Right.
Like, this was another year. Like, the reason why Shea was first team All NBA wasn't necessarily the numbers. He was doing it on only like 32 minutes a night. Because there's just so many young guys that need to get minutes on that team. So if it's me, I'm bringing in a guy, seeing if we can compete, and if we can, I'm unloading a bunch of my young talent and picks to get a third guy, maybe some depth, some bench pieces, and I'm trying to push for a playoff move.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, got to give it to OKC. They really, after trading away Russ and PG and all of their guys, they've really rebuilt the roster really nicely to position for an opportunity like that, to go after a star, potentially a second one, and make a serious push in the Western Conference.
Yeah, and it's all going to come to a head at some point that they've got fucking 16 players under the age of 23 on their team, and they've got 3 first-round picks going into the draft. So what are they going to do?
Yeah.
You can only move back so many times, and you can only draft so many guys. So
right.
That's what I think they should do.
Yeah, I agree.
Because I think Shea is an absolute superstar. So
he's a dog.
He is. Next team, I have Orlando Magic. I think they should move off Jonathan Isaac and Gary Harris. We spoke about Gary Harris earlier. I don't have a move for Jonathan Isaac because I have no idea what the hell his value would be. But he's not on a very expensive deal. He's making like $20 million a year. I think a championship contender that needs defense, like the Suns, could use a guy like Jonathan Isaac.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Mavericks could also use Jonathan Isaac.
The Mavericks too. Yep.
Any of those teams that are lacking wing depth and defense.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I mean, he can also play a small ball 4 or 5, I guess.
Yeah, he can. He has when he was making pushes at DPOYs early on in his career, like he was going to be what Mikal Bridges is now. That's what he was going to be, and then he got hurt.
Yeah,
but we saw when
he hasn't played basketball in like 3 years, bro.
Yeah, and his value's super low right now. So I think some team I think a player and a pick can get it done.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. He'd be a good he would be a good depth piece. He just hasn't played basketball since 1987.
Facts, dude. Dude was doing one-handed dribbles with Bob Cousy. All right. Sixers, I have a small but impactful move here. I think they should sign Tyrese Maxey this offseason to a max. If you bring back James Harden, you can't do that. I think they need to let him go because James Harden's not going to win a championship because he cannot succeed in the playoffs. Simple as that. Give Tyrese the keys to the backcourt and go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My problem with the Sixers is, I mean, you can bring James Harden back and run the Embiid, Maxey, Harden trio again. My issue is scoring.
Yeah.
Depth scoring.
But you also free up some money if you let James walk and sign Tyrese to the rookie max. You save the rookie max really isn't a lot. You're saving like $15 million on your payroll.
Right. And I guess if you get a guy like Fred Van Vliet in there.
Yeah, who has and don't forget, Tobias Harris's contract is front-loaded, so it's only going to get less and less.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, for the shit that Sixers fans, including myself, have given Tobias Harris over the years, he's been better than a lot of these like depth wings, 3-and-D guys. He's been solid. He's been giving you a consistent 17 points a game for 3 years now. Of like being able, but
he's been giving you a consistent 17 points a game for 3 years now. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's been consistent. So, I mean, outside of him. Then I really look down the bench as like, all right, DeAnthony Melton
is a dog. I like DeAnthony Melton on that team.
Yeah. See, they would be a guy that they could use like a Joe Harris.
Yeah.
Yep. That's my thing. Like, they don't have, in my opinion, I don't think they have enough wing 3-and-D guys.
Yeah.
And they also lack a little bit of interior. I mean, you got B-Ball Paul. But, I mean, can you do a little better than B-Ball Paul?
Yeah, and it's not like they can really do a sign and trade with James Harden that's going to bring him back good enough value. Like Boston's not going to let up Jaylen Brown. They're not going to make that trade, especially with the Sixers. I think the Blazers would decline a James Harden trade for Dame. Yeah. Why would the Pelicans want him over their young guys? Like, there's not really a place that James Harden can get traded to where they're getting back equal or close to equal value.
Yeah.
So I think your best bet's to let him walk, open up that space, give Maxey some money, and build out the depth. Because, again, the super team thing doesn't work like we've been seeing. So let's spend some of that money towards bringing in depth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You can do it, or sign and trade with OKC, like you said.
Yep, absolutely. Next team, Phoenix Suns. They need to move DeAndre Ayton. They need to, or else it's not going to work. And I have a trade in mind, and I want your thoughts on it. Let me know if it's too much value. I could take a player out, add a player in for the Suns, but this is what I think would work, especially for this other team. The Suns trade DeAndre Ayton to the Pistons for Bojan Bogdanovic, Isaiah Stewart, and Alec Burks. You get a big, you get a defensive wing.
I think that's too much value.
Maybe take out Alec Burks.
You might have to, if you're gonna have Alec Burks in there, you might have to you might have to give him at least a draft pick. But again, what draft picks do the Phoenix Suns have?
They have a 2029 first.
That's not gonna get it done, bro.
No. But the Lakers traded Russ in a first-round pick and got back a whole bunch of shit.
Fair enough.
So that's the team I'd be calling, because there's not a lot of teams that have good veteran depth on their team that's young that would fit DeAndre Ayton on his timeline. But like Cade Cunningham, Killian Hayes, whoever they draft, there's a couple other guys I'm missing. And DeAndre Ayton, I think that's pretty badass. It's a good, young, fun team.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do. But hey, I didn't go to college, so what do I know? Portland, I'll touch on it again, but I have them reflecting what the Pelicans do. I said move number 3 for Zion or Brandon Ingram.
I agree.
Because
I like Brandon Ingram more, but
yeah,
again,
I do too. And they might make a trade. The Blazers could move 3 for something else, but I just don't know if there's a team with a star that wants to move up that far. Unless you talk to the Nets about Mikal Bridges and a package.
Right.
But I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah. So the Kings, this is probably my favorite one out of all of them. For the Kings, I said they should sign Kyle Kuzma.
I like that.
Defense, rebounding.
I like
becoming a good shot creator. Fits the timeline.
Yeah.
Everyone could use Kyle Kuzma.
He does fit the timeline, I think. Yeah, and I think you can get him for relatively cheap. You wouldn't have to like completely break the bank for a guy like Kuzma.
And if you let Harrison Barnes walk, basically carbon copy the contract, $20 million a year.
Yeah, and I think he has more upside than Harrison Barnes would, and he's younger.
Of course.
Yeah, I like it. I like that. That would make them a solid 2-3 seed in this in this current Western Conference.
Fox, Herter, you let Harrison Barnes go, Keegan Murray, Kyle Kuzma, Domantas Sabonis.
And Malik Monk off the bench.
Malik Monk, off night, off the bench.
Mm-hmm. Davion Mitchell.
Chemezi Metu.
Terrence Davis.
Like, I think that would be fucking awesome. Kyle Kuzma to the Kings.
Yeah,
he declined it.
I don't want to say that makes them a contender, but it makes them pretty damn close.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if Kyle Kuzma moves the needle in that Warrior series, but I think the
Maybe a little bit.
the upside's higher for the team.
I think so too. They might be one of those.
What they have money-wise, with what they have, I think it's the best possible move they can make.
Yeah, think about it too. If Fox and Sabonis kind of progress a little bit more in the offseason and get better than they were this year, they could be the Miami Heat of the Western Conference. Yeah. They could be that. They could be that team where you look at the roster from top to bottom, and it's like they don't have the best roster, but they're building what a damn culture over there.
Yeah, facts.
And that could be all that they need to make a run is a guy like Kyle Kuzma who can make his own shots, he can defend, he's got length. Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's good. I like that.
Thanks.
They're gonna be. He's gonna be the one lighting that beam. Facts,
dude. And hey, Kuzma's won a ring as the third best option.
Yeah. So, you want to know something crazy about that before you move on to that?
Mm-hmm.
There was a trade in place for Kyle Kuzma to go to the Sacramento Kings before he got shipped off to Washington for KCP.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just it'd be a full circle thing.
It would be. And Sacramento's going to become a place where players want to go. So,
yeah.
Especially with Mike Brown as a coach.
He is a damn good coach.
He really is. All right. San Antonio Spurs. They cannot mess this up. Their goal, if they only do this in the offseason, they won the offseason, just draft Victor Wembanyama.
I think they're going to. And I think because of that, Greg Popovich is not going to retire anytime soon.
I agree. Soon. That man's going to be 90 with a walker in his bathrobe.
And he's still going to be drawing up fire sets and coaching the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah.
I mean, the rumors of retirement have been swirling around for at least
since Tim Duncan
6 or 7 years now.
Since Tim Duncan retired.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they cannot mess the offseason up unless they don't draft it. That's the only way.
If they draft Scoot. Could you imagine?
Yeah.
That would go against the Greg Popovich timeline because he is on timing for those international guys. And if you draft Scoot, hey, if you watch Spider-Verse, you ruin the timeline.
Facts, dude. The timeline is not malleable.
Yeah.
All right.
Must draft international guy.
Yes. All right. For the Raptors, I said that they need to do exactly what the Jazz did last offseason, and that's sell. Pascal needs to go. OG needs to go. Fred VanVleet can walk. Gary Trent could go. Stick to Scotty Barnes, stick to your youth, and build around that because the only team in NBA history that's won a ring merging old and young is the Golden State Warriors last year. And they have a top 10 player of all time. That's the only way it's going to work. And they don't have that. So that's what I think they should do. If they can use Siakam to move up to 3, right? Send Siakam to Portland to play with Dame, get their third overall pick. Yeah. Draft Scoot at 3. And then you've got Scoot, you've got Scotty Barnes. I think that's an option. So that's what I think the Raptors need to do. They need to have a fire sale. It's a wrap for that team.
Get it? Wrap.
Ha ha. Yeah. All right, 2 more teams. Utah Jazz. We touched this already. Move Jordan Clarkson and Kelly Olynyk for draft capital. Commit to the young movement. They've got a lot of youth on that team. Lauri Markkanen, hell, he could be traded too. I don't think he necessarily fits the timeline because, if Lauri Markkanen's your guy and you're waiting 3 years for these guys to develop, he's going to be 32. So, Yeah, I don't see that working. So I say move guys for draft capital.
Yeah.
Washington Wizards, same thing. Find a home for Kristaps, get whatever you can. That's what I said. Because you lose Bradley Beal, you lose your team, move Kristaps. Kyle Kuzma declined his player option, like as we speak. I just saw it pop up. So they're done. It's
Light
a
the
wrap.
beam. Light the beam. Light the beam.
Like the beam. So I think the Washington Wizards should head towards their rebuild confidently.
Yeah.
Don't hold on to guys like Kristaps Porzingis, because Kristaps, if they buy him out because he's in the last year of his deal, he could sign a $10 million deal to go play for contender, get his value back up. So, yeah.
Think about him on the Sixers with Embiid.
I don't think it would work.
Miami?
Yeah. I think it would better fit them. He'd be a glorified Kevin Love.
Yeah.
Because if you bring Kristaps into the Sixers, like, is he going on the bench? Is Tobias going on the bench? Are you putting Tobias at small forward? Like, I don't know. I don't know. Hell, let him go to fucking Portland.
Yeah. Let him go to
Portland to me is the most interesting team this offseason. And we're going to find everything out we need to know by Thursday when the draft starts.
Right. Yeah.
I can't wait for Thursday night.
Facts.
So,
but
yeah, that's one move for every NBA team.
I like it.
Yep. Everything's realistic. There's nothing too outlandish. Like, even the Damian Lillard trade's realistic because it's swirling in rumors as we speak. So,
yep.
The only one that's slightly unrealistic is the Portland Pelicans move, but I really think that Portland's going to move off of that. They're either going to trade Dame or trade 3.
Yeah.
So,
Facts.
But yeah, man. What was your favorite one?
My favorite one, Kyle Kuzma to the Sacramento Kings. I really like that one.
Facts. I think that's golden. I
think that is so solid and pretty realistic too.
Yeah. I'm so intuitive.
Yeah.
Here's what we can do before the NBA season starts. We should go back and react to how they did in the offseason.
We can do that.
Compare the lists. See how many I got right. See how many I got wrong.
Yeah.
Sweet.
See if you were watching the program or not.
Absolutely. So. All right. What do you say? Sporcle quiz time?
Out of left field. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Let's share this for the boys. What do you think? Should we do something like this so we can see it better? Kind of drag you somewhere? No, I can't. Can I?
Man, shit, I can't even see it on my phone. Like zoom.
How about that? How's that for you?
My phone is like.
All right. So basically, all you
fire.
You don't even really need to see it. You just need to think of all-time leaders in points, assists, rebounds, and steals for every team. Okay? So that's what today's quiz is. That's what today's quiz is. All-time leaders for every team in points, assists, rebounds, and steals. Okay? What should be our goal? 50%? 60%?
I'd say 50%.
My personal
the last
goal.
Time we did this, last time we did this for out of left field, we got almost 70%.
My personal goal is 85. I'm pushing for 85%.
All right.
That
ain't no problem.
You ready to go?
I'm ready to go, bro.
All right. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to start out with obvious ones. LeBron James fills the Cavs. Jordan fills the Bulls. DeAndre Jordan for the Clippers. That's an easy one.
Kareem.
That makes me think Chris Paul, Kareem, Abdul, Jabbar. for the Bucks. Okay. If we're thinking
Okay.
about more Bucks, what is Giannis
Well-
on here yet? Kumpo? Giannis Antetokounmpo, points and assists. Did you say Wilt?
Damn. Yeah.
And Chamberlain, he's not on here. Russell?
Damn.
Russell's there, which makes me think Jacuzzi, which makes me think of Havlicek, which makes me think of no way. Steals leader for Boston. Shit. Jones? Not Sam Jones, not Casey Jones, not McHale.
No.
Paul Pierce. Got it.
Look
Okay.
at you.
Atlanta. Dominique Wilkins. That's an easy one. Bob Pettit also played there. Steals. Defensive player for the Hawks. Who was on that roster?
Kembe.
Tombo. No.
No. Damn, bro. What the hell?
What about Mookie Blaylock? Oh my God, Mookie Blaylock!
What a pull, bro!
What a pull! Brooke Lopez. Brooke Lopez for the Nets. I know that's number one.
Sure.
Kidd.
Yeah, Jason Kidd.
Got him. I don't know who it would be. I thought it would have been Lopez. We'll come back to that. Assists. Doc Rivers. That I know because I saw that stat somewhere and it blew my mind.
That's insane. Charlotte Hornets. Glenn Rice.
Kemba Walker.
Glenn Rice.
Nice, no.
What the hell?
What about Muggsy Bogues? Rebounds.
Alonzo Mourning.
Morning. No. There's only one guy for rebounds.
Bro, how?
Do you know this man? Emeka Okafor?
I do know Emeka Okafor.
What a pull. All right, we got Bulls.
OKC, definitely KD.
Durant? No. Westbrook then.
You're definitely it got to be Westbrook.
Yep. Other Thunder players, also
Andre.
Sonics. Gary Payton, two of them.
Sean Kemp.
Kemp? No.
How, bro? How?
All right, up to the Dirk for the Mavs. Derek Harper. Derek Harper. Oh! All right. Jokic for the Nuggets. Alex English for points, probably. Yep.
Oh my God, bro! You're just carrying.
Fat Lever for steals. Iverson. No, that's rebounds.
Rebounds would have been.
Oh, Dan Issel. Duh.
Who?
Dan Issel.
Oh.
Isaiah Thomas. Who else was? Who was their center?
Rick Mahorn. Oh no, Bill Laimbeer.
Lane Beer. Yep. Golden State Warriors. This one's
Finally.
easy. Let me just fill this out quick. Curry, and then it's Nate Thurman for rebounds. Rockets. Olajuwon. Oh, Harden.
That's so.
James Harden.
Damn, bro.
Pacers. Reggie Miller. I don't know rebounds. Next. The Clippers.
Damn.
Oh, Randy Smith.
Bro, what the hell? Lakers. Kobe.
Yep. Kobe Bean. Elgin Baylor, probably up here somewhere. West. Assists.
Magic Johnson.
Yep. Grizzlies, I'm going to think of Greg Bryant, Mike Conley.
Pau Gasol. Or Mark Gasol.
Marc Gasol, good pull. Miami Heat, Dwayne Wade. Rebounds.
Alonzo. No, man, not Alonzo Mourning, bro. Shaq.
Bosh. Oh, Bosh is there for the Raptors. Neil. No. Udonis Haslem? Udonis Haslem!
Oh my God, bro. What the hell?
I'm on fire.
Literally. The Timberwolves, Kevin Garnett.
For everything.
For the literal whole entire category, that's cool.
Pelicans.
The Pelicans, Anthony Davis.
Yep. Wait, I spelled it wrong. Oh, we also got Dale Davis for the Pacers, so those are done.
Bet. The Knicks.
Man. Ewing, Frazier.
Ewing, Walt Frazier.
Boom, easy.
That's crazy. Orlando Magic. Tracy McGrady.
No.
Damn, bro, what the hell?
Dwight Howard.
Definitely got to be on there for rebounds, yeah.
Nick Anderson. Nick Anderson. Steals.
Penny Hardaway.
Hardaway. That makes me think of Jameer Nelson for some reason. I'm going to try it.
Yo, what the hell, bro?
Bro, I'm on something.
That's insane. Okay, AI.
No.
Damn.
Mo Cheeks. Yep.
Mo Cheeks. Dr. J.
Yep. Irving. Nope. Golf Shays. Yep. Al Greer. People be forgetting about the Sixers in the 50s.
All right, bro. You know what? You fill out the rest of this fucking list, bro. I'm done.
Smash. Rebounds. Alvin Adams. Portland Lillard.
I don't even know what to say. Bill Walton.
No. Clyde Drexler. Aldridge. Okay. The Kings. Robertson. Who else played on that team? Who was their center? Lacey. How do you spell it? Lacey. Sam Lacey. Let's go. Oh my God. Tim Duncan. Parker.
Ginobili.
Okay. Raptors. Probably
DeRozan.
Assists.
Kyle Lowry.
And steals. Good pull. Jazz, that's easy. Stockton and Malone. Stockton. Easy. Wizards.
Gilbert Arenas.
No. Wes Unseld for rebounds. Beal.
Chris Webber.
No. Elvin Hayes.
Yeah.
Assists and steals. A point guard other than Gilbert Arenas.
Oh, I know who it is. Oh, what's his name? I know the guy's name. Oh my God.
I'm gonna try John Wall. John Wall for both.
I wasn't.
Oh my God, we're at 116.
Okay.
Rebounds for
Brooklyn
the Nets.
Rebounds.
I'm just gonna start trying random last names.
Jason Williams.
Jason Williams. Buck Williams.
Okay, close enough. There was a center. There was a Jason Williams center that played for the Nets in the 90s.
There was.
The 2000s.
Thunder centers. Supersonic centers. Jack Sigma.
Yeah, Jack Sigma.
Oh my God, we have 2 minutes to get to him. Oh my God, there's no way.
Milwaukee Bucks steals. Terry Cummings.
No. Have I tried Quinn Buckner?
Sam Cassell or Ray Allen?
Cassell, no. Allen. I'm gonna try Quinn Buckner.
Oh my God, bro. All right, we got 2 minutes to get the Trailblazers assists.
Point guards that have played for the fucking Blazers.
Oh my God.
I need to get deep in my bag.
Arvydas Sabonis.
Maybe. He was a good passer. No. Guards for the Blazers. Drexler was a guard, but it would have been before him. Or no, after him, maybe. Between Dame and Drexler.
Brandon Roy.
Roy? No, I didn't play long enough. Terry Porter?
Damon Stoudemire.
Stoudemire. No. What about
Stoud? Stamire? No?
No.
What the hell?
Terry Porter.
Oh my god. That's insane. Yo. We got 100%.
Oh my god.
Let's go.
My brain hurts.
Hey, you carried that entire thing. Just like I carried the quarterbacks, you carried this.
Never sleep on Mookie Blaylock.
I don't know what the fuck a Mookie Blaylock is, bro.
Dan Issel. Never sleep on Dan Issel.
I don't know what a Dan Easel is.
Oh my god.
That was a masterpiece.
Holy shit.
Bro, I don't know how you did it.
I don't know how you got all those quarterbacks, but
Quarterbacks? Well, I don't know how you got all these random ass NBA players.
I told you, I was on the phone with this man yesterday. I was texting him. I was like, you ever just be like in your bedroom, like talking to yourself because Andre Robertson needs to do this to fix his jump shot? Or, you know.
Bro, he had a 51 3-point shot in 2K.
Yeah. Yeah. You ever be sitting in your bed and watching Peja Stojakovic defensive highlights? Because this is what I do.
You be watching Dan Easel highlights.
Facts.
That's
oh my
insane,
god,
bro.
Some of these names I remembered because they were MVPs in like the 50s. Some of these guys played on championship teams, like Dan Issel. I mean, not Dan Issel. Dan Issel played on a championship team, but not for the Nuggets. Alex English, I knew because I saw a stat that was wild to me that he averaged 30 points a game 3 years in a row and never won an MVP. And Fat Lever is just an iconic name.
He is. He definitely is.
Yeah. Some of these guys I just pulled out of my ass. But
you did.
But hey,
we got all 120 of them.
Facts. It's your turn to complete a football list 100%.
Facts.
Next time we do this, I'll let you take like the computer control and you can do the typing.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But anyways, this has been the Day One podcast. Another episode. One of my favorite episodes we've done because I'm an NBA-aholic.
And you had control of the show.
And I control the show, yeah. What I said goes. So, thank you, everyone who tuned in. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment. What do you want us to do next? Whether you're on a boat.
Hey,
what?
Adriana, save us some fucking pierogies.
Yeah, absolute queen. Absolute queen. I don't think she's watching anymore.
No.
I don't think she's watching anymore. I told her to drop that boyfriend. She can get me on a date.
Sheesh. Hey, that's for behind the scenes. But whether you're on a boat, on a plane, on a bus, with your boyfriend, with your girlfriend, with your other friend, tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend.
It's been a Day One podcast. Like, subscribe. Do it all. Do it now. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on TikTok. We post relatively consistently on there. You'll be getting a podcast from us at least once a week. And I'd say in our next show, we'll probably react to the NBA draft a little bit, maybe some trades that happened. We'll get into some football stuff if anything goes on. There's still some guys that need to be signed, like DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, and we'll get geared up for football season because it's coming fast. Pause.
Yes, sir.
Pause.
Yes, sir. No, it's facts. Football season's coming.
Fast. Pause. Pause.
Facts.
All right, everybody. I'm Kyle. That's Anthony. And we'll catch you on the next one.
Peace.